There is a war happening right now, not on the battlefield of nations, but inside the hearts that feel forgotten. Voices whisper, "You are too old, too weak, too late." Yet even now, the Ancient of Days rises. He who sustained you in your youth will not forsake you in your gray years. The same hands that lifted David from the wilderness still reach for those who feel hidden in the shadows of time. In the unseen realm, the enemy celebrates early victories, but heaven has written another ending. This is not your decline, this is your divine return. Every forgotten song will rise again. Every silent prayer will echo through eternity. Before this video ends, the King of Glory will step into your story, and your latter days will burn brighter than your beginning. Before the first sunrise ever kissed the mountains, his voice had already thundered through eternity. He did not ask for permission to create, he simply spoke, and everything obeyed. The oceans learned their boundaries, and the stars found their appointed place. Every particle of dust carries his signature. Every heartbeat echoes his rhythm. The earth is not ownerless. It is holy ground under divine authority. Every nation, every system, every ruler exists only because he allows it. And when he speaks again, creation bows in absolute silence. Men build towers of pride and call them kingdoms. They measure power in gold and fear, believing they can own what breathes. But the Lord laughs, for he knows how small their empires truly are. He can turn oceans to deserts and deserts into gardens with a single thought. The earth belongs to him, not to those who conquer it by force, but to those who recognize his reign in humility and awe. For he alone is the first and the last, the unseen architect of all things. When storms roar, they do not act without his consent. When lightning tears the sky, it only follows the path he commanded. Even chaos must submit to his order. The ground beneath your feet was designed to hold your faith, not your fear. The winds that once terrified you are now messengers carrying his glory. The waves that once tried to drown you now sing of his power. The earth is alive with his presence. Nothing exists apart from him. Every mountain stands as a monument of his patience. Every valley whispers of his mercy. The rivers flow as veins of grace through the body of creation. If the world itself worships him, how could humanity remain silent? He did not build the world for idols, but for intimacy. He shaped the soil not just to sustain life, but to sustain relationship. You were made to echo the praise that the mountains never cease to give. The ground beneath you remembers Eden. It remembers the first footsteps of mankind walking in harmony with God. It remembers the sound of his voice before the serpent's lies entered the air. Creation longs for that purity again, the moment when heaven and earth were one. But even now, that restoration is not far away. The same God who formed the beginning has already written the end. And the end is not destruction, it is redemption. When evil men say mine, heaven responds, no, his. When injustice steals, the Spirit rises to reclaim. The earth may groan, but its groaning is the sound of birth, not death. For every corner of creation will once again shine with divine ownership. From the deepest cave to the highest throne, his light will reclaim dominion. The same hands that crafted the galaxies now cradle your tomorrow. And in his grasp, nothing is ever truly lost. The earth belongs to the Lord, and so does every story upon it. He knows where each tear fell, where each seed was buried in hope. He knows every battle fought in the unseen world, every prayer whispered in secret. To the world, your pain looks small, but to him it is sacred. He is not a distant God observing creation. He is within it, restoring it. Every cry is heard, every injustice noted, every promise remembered.
and at his command, restoration begins to move like sunrise. Look around. Do you see the power that holds the oceans in their place? It is the same power that holds you when the tides rise. He is not afraid of storms because he is the storm's designer. He commands the chaos to serve your transformation. When he says, "Peace, be still," it is not to silence you, but to calm your soul. The earth belongs to the Lord, and your story belongs within that same decree. You are not adrift, you are anchored in divine ownership. Kings write laws, God writes reality. Men debate justice, God defines it. The earth's foundation does not rest on politics or nations, it rests on His word. Every time the sun rises, creation repeats its vow, "Yours, Lord, is the kingdom." Every time the wind moves, it carries whispers of His authority. Even silence is not empty, it vibrates with the presence of the Almighty. He reigns not from afar, but from within all that exists. You are walking through a world designed to remind you of Him. The scent of rain, the sound of thunder, the breath in your lungs, all sermons of His sovereignty. There is not a single inch of earth where His voice is absent. He fills the unseen spaces between molecules and galaxies alike. To walk upon this ground is to stand on sacred testimony. He built the world not as a playground for pride, but as a temple for His glory. And He invites you to walk reverently in the rhythm of His reign. The earth trembles not from earthquakes, but from expectation. It feels the approach of its rightful king. Every living thing groans with anticipation for His full return. Even now, the soil beneath your feet prepares for renewal. Every injustice will meet its end. Every wound will find healing. The Lord will not abandon His creation to corruption, for the earth that began with His word will end with His glory. Do you hear the heartbeat of heaven under the chaos of earth? It beats steady, unchanging, eternal. While humanity rushes and panics, God remains unmoved, unbroken, unending. He sees the timeline beyond our sight, weaving redemption into every century. No empire is strong enough to outlast His decree. The same power that sustains the galaxies sustains your faith. And when all else crumbles, His kingdom will still stand. Lift your eyes from the dust and remember whose hands formed it. You were shaped from holy ground, not disposable clay. Your existence carries the breath of the Almighty. When you speak His name, even mountains pause to listen. The earth belongs to the Lord, and His image dwells within you. To honor creation is to honor the Creator, and to remember your worth is to remember His ownership. The song of creation has never stopped. It plays through the winds, the stars, and the voices of those who still believe. Every echo of praise adds strength to heaven's chorus. The earth belongs to the Lord. It always has, it always will. No enemy can steal what was sealed by His word. So let every heart join the symphony of surrender and awe. For the Lord reigns, and the earth is His forevermore.
The greatest battles are not fought with swords, but with hearts. The war begins within, where motives clash and desires divide. The enemy fears not your strength, but your surrender. For when your heart belongs fully to God, darkness loses its claim. Purity is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of light within it. Every choice becomes a weapon when it is forged in obedience. And holiness becomes your armor in the invisible war. In this age of compromise, purity is rebellion. It is the refusal to be owned by corruption or convenience. While the world crowns pride, heaven honors humility. The pure in heart are not naive, they are fearless, for their clarity comes not from innocence, but from revelation. They see beyond illusion, they discern truth amid chaos. They walk through fire without burning, because their hearts are anchored in eternity. Purity is forged in private. It is born in hidden altars, far from applause or recognition. When you choose truth in silence, heaven bears witness. When you forgive the unseen offense, angels take note. Your unseen victories echo louder in eternity than your public success. The God who watches in secret rewards in glory, and every unseen act of purity becomes a sword in your hand. The enemy cannot defeat a heart that refuses to be divided. For where unity with God exists, corruption cannot breathe. Temptation loses its grip when the soul delights in holiness. The pure heart is not fragile, it is indestructible, because it has found joy in what cannot be stolen. Purity transforms suffering into strength and silence into worship. It is the discipline of eternity clothed in human choice. Purity is not about isolation, it is about illumination. You are not called to hide from the world, but to shine within it. Your light exposes deception, not by accusation, but by existence. Every step of integrity burns like fire in the realm of darkness. Demons tremble when a believer walks clean before God, because purity is authority, the reflection of heaven's dominion. And the world cannot curse what heaven has declared pure. There is power in a clean conscience. When guilt no longer chains you, your prayers become thunder. Heaven hears not the loudest voice, but the purest one. Purity gives your words weight in the spiritual realm. It aligns your will with His, and through that unity, mountains move. Holiness is not a burden, it is freedom under divine order. And freedom is the atmosphere where miracles breathe. When your heart is pure, your vision changes. You no longer see enemies, you see captives who need deliverance. You no longer see obstacles, you see altars of transformation. The pure in heart perceive as heaven perceives, through mercy, not fear. Your discernment sharpens, your compassion deepens, your authority increases, because purity is not weakness, it is heaven's greatest weapon. It pierces darkness without hatred and conquers without pride. The war for purity is not fought once, it is fought daily. Every thought is a battlefield, every desire a potential altar. You win not by willpower, but by surrender. The spirit within you is stronger than the voices around you. He refines like fire, but comforts like oil. He does not condemn, he transforms. And every time you choose him over yourself, heaven advances its front line. When the world mocks holiness, it reveals its fear of it. Because purity exposes the counterfeit, it unmasks the illusion. Evil thrives in confusion, but purity brings clarity. A clear heart is a mirror for divine reflection. When your life becomes transparent before God, darkness loses ground. Purity is not just moral, it is prophetic. It speaks of a kingdom coming that no corruption can touch. The purified heart walks through darkness carrying unseen fire. Its light spreads silently, breaking curses simply by presence. Every atmosphere shifts when holiness enters the room, because demons cannot coexist with devotion. You were not made to blend in. You were made to burn bright. The world does not need perfection. It needs purity that glows through grace. For grace is not a cover for sin, but a call to transformation. In the eyes of God, purity is beauty. It is not outward, it is radiant from within. It is the fragrance of a life surrendered. Like incense rising before his throne, your obedience fills heaven with sweetness. Every yes you whisper in faith becomes a song of victory. Every temptation resisted becomes a stone in the altar of your destiny. The pure heart builds what eternity will never tear down. Purity turns pain into offering. The wounds you surrendered become wells of anointing. Every tear shed for righteousness waters the seeds of glory. Heaven does not waste the cost of obedience. Your sacrifice today becomes someone's salvation tomorrow. And through the cleansing fire, you will emerge unrecognizable, refined as gold. For those who endure purity's process inherit heaven's authority. When the final war is waged, the pure will stand as generals, not because they were flawless, but because they were faithful. They overcame, not by perfection, but by perseverance. Their robes were washed not in their own strength, but in the blood of the Lamb. And the enemy's greatest fear was never their power, it was their purity. For in purity, the reflection of God Himself becomes visible, and no darkness can destroy what carries His likeness. The King of Glory is searching the earth, not for talent, but for clean hands, not for titles, but for hearts that burn for truth. Purity is heaven's banner in this generation's war. The pure will see God, not someday, but now, in every moment of surrender. They will carry His presence into broken places and bring light where fear once ruled. The earth belongs to the Lord, but the victory belongs to the pure in heart, and their song will shake both heaven and hell.
The horizon trembles as eternity draws near. The wind carries the sound of approaching majesty. The King of Glory is on the move. Ancient gates, long sealed by fear and pride, begin to quake. For the time of visitation has come, and no gate can resist His arrival. Lift up your heads, O gates, cries the voice from heaven's ranks. Every fortress of despair must open, every heart must rise, for the Lord, strong and mighty in battle, has come to reclaim what is His. The city sleeps unaware, yet the heavens roar above it. Angels descend like lightning, clearing the path for the King's entry. Darkness trembles, chains break, and the air becomes holy fire. The gates are not made of stone, they are the hearts of men. And now the eternal question echoes again. Who is this King of Glory? He is the Lord of hosts, the commander of heaven's armies, and when He enters, every lie must flee. These are not days of silence, they are days of awakening. The gates of your soul have heard His knock for too long. He comes not to visit, but to dwell. He does not wait for permission. He speaks, and the gates obey. The ancient doors of pain, guilt, and unbelief swing open at His command. His light does not ask the darkness to move, it replaces it. The King of Glory does not negotiate with fear, He conquers it. In the unseen realm, angels gather as witnesses. Trumpets sound, declaring the return of rightful rule. Demons retreat into the shadows they once ruled. Every gate that resisted divine presence begins to crumble, for the gates of pride cannot stand before the face of holiness, and every stronghold built against His name collapses in reverence. The King is not coming quietly. He arrives as thunder wrapped in grace. Lift up your heads, O gates, is not a suggestion, it is a decree. It is the moment heaven's will collides with earth's resistance. Every generation hears this cry, but only the humble respond. The proud barricade their hearts, but the broken welcome His reign. For only those who know their need will see His glory unfold. The King does not enter perfect hearts, He enters surrendered ones. And when He enters, heaven follows. The gates of nations begin to tremble. The systems of men shake under the weight of His justice. What was built on deceit will now be exposed by truth. He rides not on the praises of the powerful, but on the prayers of the pure.
Every altar of greed is overturned, every idol of fame reduced to dust. The King of Glory will not share his throne with corruption. His kingdom comes with fire, and his justice flows like a river. The gates within you were never meant to remain closed. They were built for glory to pass through, not fear to hide behind. Each wound you carry was meant to become a doorway for his presence. When you surrender, the gates lift by themselves. When you worship, the hinges of heaven turn again. Do not guard what God is asking you to release, for only the open heart becomes a throne for the King. He comes clothed in light that devours shadow. His footsteps echo across eternity, and creation bows in sequence. Even the wind carries his name, and the stars align in worship. Every gate that once resisted now welcomes his arrival. The Lord enters not as a guest, but as the rightful ruler. He reclaims what time and sin tried to steal. The gates are lifted, and glory floods the earth. In this hour, the gates of revival are opening. The breath of God stirs sleeping hearts into holy fire. Dreams buried under disappointment rise again. Prophecies once whispered now thunder in fulfillment. The Spirit moves through the corridors of human history, breaking chains, healing memories, resurrecting faith. For when the King walks in, even the past becomes new. The ancient gates of fear collapse under his command. Shame loses its language in the sound of his name. The prison doors of addiction and despair fly open. The walls of doubt fall flat like Jericho's defenses. Every soul once held captive now runs free in radiant light. The King of Glory has entered, and the war for your heart is won. Victory was never about might, it was about surrender. He enters through worship, not warfare. When your song rises, heaven's gatekeepers respond. Your praise becomes the password for divine visitation. Every hallelujah becomes a key turning in celestial locks. He inhabits the melody of the surrendered soul. The King comes where he is welcomed and reigns where he is adored. Lift your head, for the gates are lifting with you. The King of Glory rides upon clouds of flame. He carries no weapon but his word, no army but his angels. Every word he speaks rewrites the laws of nature. The skies split as his presence fills the atmosphere. Darkness bows because light has arrived. The enemy flees not from noise, but from holiness. For the gates of the righteous are guarded by his glory. The call resounds again, louder than thunder, softer than mercy. Lift up your heads, O gates, and let me in. He is knocking not on doors of stone, but on hearts of flesh. Every yes you give opens another gate in heaven. Every tear you release becomes oil for the hinges of his arrival. Do not delay the entry of the King by clinging to old wounds. Let him in, and the light will never leave. The gates have lifted, the King has entered. The sound of his reign fills every corner of creation. The Lord strong and mighty, victorious in battle, sits upon his throne. Every shadow dissolves under his gaze. The gates of sorrow are now gates of praise. The King of Glory reigns, not in distant heavens, but here, within you. And his glory will never depart again.
The trumpet of heaven sounds across the silence of time. Every angel takes position as the final command is spoken. The King of Glory rises, not as a distant Savior, but as a conquering Lord. The heavens open, and light pierces through every shadowed realm. The earth trembles under the weight of divine justice fulfilled. For this is the hour that prophets dreamed of and martyrs longed to see. The war that began in Eden now ends in eternal triumph. The enemy stands powerless before the brilliance of holiness. No accusation remains, no weapon endures, no curse survives. The blood of the Lamb speaks louder than the roar of hell. Every chain forged in darkness melts under the fire of his eyes. This is not just victory, it is restoration. Every wrong is made right, every scar turned into a story of grace. And the King declares, "It is finished, and it will stay finished." The battlefield of ages becomes a garden again. Where once blood was spilled, now flowers of peace bloom. Swords are buried, and harps rise in their place. The cries of war give way to songs of worship. The lion and the lamb walk side by side, judgment and mercy united. All creation lifts its gaze toward the one enthroned, and heaven and earth finally speak the same language again: glory. Thrones of arrogance fall like broken idols. Empires collapse, not through force, but through holiness revealed. The crowns of men scatter like dust before the eternal King. His robe is dipped in light, his name written in fire. The armies of heaven follow, not to destroy, but to restore. The nations watch as the King reclaims what sin once defiled. And the earth, reborn, breathes its first pure breath in ages. Every tear shed in faith now becomes a diamond in the crown of eternity. Every prayer whispered in pain now echoes as a victory song. The saints rise, clothed in radiant white, bearing the mark of mercy. They overcame not by strength, but by surrender. For the Lamb who was slain now reigns as the Lion who restores. Heaven's chorus swells like the ocean at dawn, unstoppable, unending. And the sound shakes both time and eternity. The dragon falls, stripped of illusion and authority. His voice, once proud, fades into eternal silence. Heaven does not celebrate revenge, it celebrates redemption. Even in victory, the King's justice is drenched in mercy. He reclaims what was lost, not with cruelty, but with compassion. For every soul rescued from darkness is a trophy of grace. And grace is the final word written across the universe. The gates of heaven open wide, and light floods creation. The King rides forth, crowned with truth, wrapped in unending flame. He carries no sword forged by man, his word alone divides shadow from light. Every name that once trembled in fear now sings with gratitude. Death is no longer an ending, it is a doorway to glory. The grave is silent because resurrection has spoken. The final victory is not future, it has already begun. In the streets of eternity, laughter returns. The children of promise dance where sorrow once reigned. Every broken thing is mended, every exile brought home. The sound of peace is louder than the memory of war. Heaven kisses earth, and creation breathes again in rhythm with its Creator. The long night of humanity gives way to the endless dawn of God. For the King of glory has made his dwelling among his people. The universe itself becomes a temple. Galaxies spin in worship, and light sings in frequencies of glory. The stars write psalms across the fabric of the heavens. The redeemed walk in garments woven from grace and truth. There is no more curse, no more separation, no more fear. Every knee bows not from compulsion, but from wonder. For love has finally conquered all. The throne of God shines like 1,000 suns.
From it flows a river clear as crystal, healing all it touches. Nations drink from it and forget their wars. The trees of life bloom again on both sides of the water. Their leaves whisper the language of reconciliation. The king smiles, for everything he promised is now complete, and eternity begins where time finally ends. The saints gather in unison, their voices rising like thunder. They sing not of themselves, but of the one who never failed them. Every story of suffering now glows with divine purpose. Every test becomes a testimony of victory. The crowns they carry, they cast before his feet in reverence. The King of Glory reigns not above them, but among them. And the word that fills the heavens is one, holy. The final war was never between armies, it was between love and pride. And love has won. The Lamb reigns with scars that still shine. They are not reminders of pain, but proof of promise kept. In those wounds lies the healing of all creation. The light that flows from them reaches the farthest corners of existence, and even the silence bows in worship. The King of Glory now rests upon his eternal throne, but his reign is not distant. It lives within the hearts he redeemed. You are part of that kingdom, part of that victory. The same Spirit that raised him now breathes through your soul. You are no longer a spectator of glory. You are a vessel of it. Carry his light into the world that still waits for dawn, for through you his victory continues to unfold. And now the earth stands still, wrapped in eternal light. The war has ended, the gates are open, the King reigns forevermore. No more fear, no more night, only endless communion. The echo of eternity fills every breath of creation. The King of Glory reigns, and his name will never fade. The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle, victorious and near. Forever crowned, forever adored, the final victory is his. The war is over, but the coal remains. The same King who conquered the heavens now seeks the throne of your heart. He does not come in wrath. He comes in radiant love wrapped in glory and truth. You are not watching a story. You are standing in prophecy fulfilled. Heaven has declared your victory before the battle ever began. Now lift your voice, lift your hands, lift your gates, for the King of Glory has entered your story. And from this moment on, darkness will never reign again. Declare in the comments, the King of Glory reigns over my life. Because every word spoken in faith becomes a sword in the unseen realm, and heaven still moves when you believe.